The number of homes for sale in Florida has increased dramatically. Are there enough homes on the market now to start seeing prices drop? Today, we're going to break down the numbers. Hey everybody, Melanie Atkinson here, Realtor with Smith & Associates in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Today we are talking Florida housing inventory. The headlines have been juicy on this topic. Some great clickable statistics. Did you know that active Florida inventory in January of 2024 has increased 295% when compared to January of 2022? That's almost triple the number of houses for sale in just 2 years. That's a huge number. We must have too many houses for sale in Florida. If I was just looking for clicks and views, I would continue on with this narrative because the internet loves a good doomsday real estate video. But instead, I'm going to start by telling you guys a short story. Once upon a time, not too long ago, in a land of sunshine, beaches, bad drivers, and various colors of showerproofs, you all know what I'm talking about, a bunch of people lived there in relative harmony. New people were welcomed at a steady pace, and those people found their place in this warm land. Then, out of the blue, pun intended, a whole bunch of people and corporations decided that they too wanted to live in the land of sunshine, beaches, bad drivers, and showerproofs. So they all came down at the same time and tried to find their space. But alas, the people that were already there didn't want to leave, and builders couldn't find enough windows or AC ducts to keep up with the people moving there. But the new people and corporations were very determined, and they had a superpower. They could make it rain. Not the rain that's expected in a subtropical climate, but the cash kind. As aggressively as hungry hippos, they gobbled up the spaces as soon as they became available. But they couldn't stay hungry forever, so eventually they slowed down. Builders started to get windows and AC ducts again, people started to breathe, and after a while, even though it looked different and was way more expensive than it was before, everyone just kind of got used to the new normal. The end. If you expected a more dramatic end to that story, I get it. The middle is too insane for it not to end with some fiery climax. It's very unfulfilling. But it is in fact the current story of Florida housing inventory. Everyone keeps wanting to make the end something that it's not. Maybe there will eventually be a fiery ending where the state implodes into a massive sinkhole full of lawyers and alligators. But for now, the number of houses for sale in Florida is almost exactly what it was just before the COVID years. In January of 2020, the state of Florida had 141,296 homes for sale. In January of 2024, the state of Florida had 138,481 homes for sale, almost the same number. But in the peak of the craziness in January of 22, the entire state of Florida only had 46,944 houses for sale. So if I'm looking for attention-grabbing headlines, I can compare year-over-year numbers that makes it seem like we have an overabundance of inventory. But the reality is we just have a more normal amount of inventory. So let's go back to the question I asked at the very beginning. Do we have enough inventory to start seeing price drops? At this point, probably not. Let me show you this chart so you can see why. This chart shows the average home sales price in Florida from 2018 until today. From 2018 until March of 2020, you can see that the average price line was pretty flat. Prices went up about 12% during those 2 years, and housing inventory during that time was between 4 and 5 months of inventory. Then we have a huge run-up in prices because supply was crazy low and demand was crazy high, the COVID years. Fast forward to when the Fed started raising interest rates in mid-22 until now, and you can see that line flattens out again, with the average price going up about 9%. And housing inventory during this time has been steadily increasing, but that's not surprising because we had to climb out of a big hole. Currently, there's just under 4.5 months of inventory. So what is this chart telling us? When you have steady demand and steady supply, you have less dramatic price fluctuations. On the ground level, agents like me that work every day with buyers and sellers are experiencing what feels very much like a typical pre-COVID Florida market. Builders have inventory, we're seeing more resales come to the market, and buyers are getting off the fence. Maybe reluctantly off the fence, but they are jumping off. Yes, it's harder to sell houses and they are on the market longer, but that's normal. Having 27 offers the day after it goes on the market is not normal. We need to stop comparing our normal market to the abnormal market we had 2 years ago. Inventory has absolutely increased dramatically when we compare it to those years, but that was very much needed. A lot of people don't remember just how much inventory we had on the market during the Great Recession that led to massive price declines in Florida. In January of 2009, we had 20 months of inventory. Right now, we have 4.4. And trust me, I get it. I know that prices are high and people believe that what goes up must come down. I understand the economic threats out there of housing affordability, credit card debt, insurance costs, association costs, inflation, and all of the unknown factors out there, like a pandemic, which none of us had on our 2020 bingo card. The reality is, we still need a lot more inventory to start seeing major across-the-board price declines. But the good news is, it's far more balanced than it was. As a buyer, you will have more choices. You can negotiate again. We are seeing builders give incentives. And yes, there will be price adjustments as sellers realize their unmaintained house isn't going to sell for top dollar, and they deserve those price adjustments. Bottom line, and this is what I want you to understand, if you are a buyer looking to buy this spring or summer, and you are listening to all of the noise saying that inventory is so high and prices have to come down, please understand that our inventory is still pretty low, especially in areas that are super desirable. Those big price declines don't happen unless supply is much higher than demand, and that's just not the case yet. And if this is not the fiery, climactic ending that you want to this story, that's okay. This story isn't going to be over anytime soon. It's very possible that the future will hold something that you and I cannot see right now. But if Florida does end up falling into a sinkhole of its own making, filled with lawyers and alligators, I at least want some credit for predicting it. Thank you all for indulging me on this one. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons. If you're looking for something else to watch on this channel, check out a video I recently did on luxury homes in the Tampa area. I know that topic doesn't really correlate very well with this one, but it's good and you should watch it. Thank you all so much. See you next time.